It is so cool to talk to you both. I've watched the first 4 episodes and I loved every minute. And I feel like watching the first 4 episodes, it's barely scratched the surface for these two characters. But I'm curious, when they start out and they meet, what do you think makes them bond so quickly?
I think they're both going through losses. And like they just happen to kind of find each other at the right time. Like it's like a fate situation. And I think they both don't realize that they need each other need someone at that moment. And I think it's just like a perfect storm.
Yeah, I mean, it said it well. They're both kind of, and they're on top of that, they're in sort of this like tropical paradise environment where everybody seems to be smiling and very happy, and they are not, and they're kind of drawn towards each other.
Well, and then in terms of working on the story, did you both know that much about what was down the line in the future timeline, or were you really, just given kind of your timeline?
Not fully. We a lot of the scripts weren't written, so we had already started filming and we hadn't gotten the last couple of episodes. And I think on like the fly, they would change. So something might have happened that I would have known about when we were shooting the first episode. And then by the 7th episode, it was like that idea was like, okay, maybe not. And yeah, I think that was really interesting and fun to play with. And I think, yeah, the most important thing for me was that I knew the most about Violet. I guess her ending didn't matter. It mattered more to know who she was so I could craft that at the start.
Can you tell me how you viewed Violet? What was the, I guess, the parts of her that made her tick?
Yeah, I mean, I think she's so cool and so fearless and adventurous. And I think what drew me to her was kind of what she's going through, dealing with the loss of her mom, which kind of mirrored my own life with my father. So I think that empathy was there for her. And yeah, I think, yeah.
Scarlet, then for you, delving into this character, what was the thing that made him tick for you? What was the kind of kernel that brought you into him?
It was more, in the beginning, like you said, there wasn't a whole lot on the page with Sam and Violet. The first couple episodes were in like a scene here, a scene there, and then we're kind of gradually. So and the initial attraction was more just, I was a fan of Andy's work and a big Ben Sinclair fan. And there was just really great people behind the project. And Andy sent out a document of sort of an outline of the themes he hoped to explore and what the core of the show would be. And so it seemed, all of that seemed very exciting. And I did like, there was a scene that I don't think it even ended up, it wasn't in the pilot ultimately, but it was just sort of a moment of like, the idea that time in high school where you kind of like are running into the person, that time of like who you think you are, who you want to be, how the world is seeing you, all that kind of coming together. I say high school, I think Andy changed it to college. I think we were 22, but still that time in your life when you're kind of just trying out new things. And there was a scene I really liked that Andy wrote where I just kind of immediately saw that with Sam, that moment of like, well, this is how I see myself, but this isn't how the world is seeing me. So maybe I'm not that person. And if I'm not that person, who do I want to be? And sort of immediately I thought it seemed interesting to take on.
Well, the last thing I'll ask you really quick is, what was the favorite scene that you ended up filming? Was there one that was, the peak for you that was like, oh, this was really cool to do, or something you had done before?
I think in the 5th and 6th episode, we have some really, really fun scenes coming up, just working with Ben Sinclair in a scene in episode 5, and then working with Luis Guzman in 6. I think that was super fun. And I think, I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, those two are going to be interesting.
Yeah. The final stretch, as things really start to kind of heat up, it kind of felt like every scene, like every day was just a wild adventure. And I'm really excited so a lot of those locations like were so epic and such incredible finds, and you don't really have a sense of what it's going to look like or feel like when you're in it. And then I'd get a peek at the monitor every now and then, or see a second of playback and be like, whoa, this is going to be pretty sweet. I did not realize this is what this would look like. So as a fan, and especially not being in so much of it and not being privy to like what everyone else was doing, I'm really excited to see what everyone else was doing while we were doing what we were doing.
True.
Well, you're both phenomenal. So thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks.
you.